today's lesson, we'll explain in depth how molecules move across the cell membrane and why it is important to the cell's survival. Do you recall what the cell membrane is?
Yes. The cell membrane plays a crucial role in not only maintaining the cell's structure, it also controls what enters and leaves the cell. It allows nutrients to enter the cell, which it can use to activate different processes, disposes toxins and products out of the cell, and protects the cell's environment from the outside. I recall there are two ways that molecules can be moved in and out of the cell.
That's right. They can move via passive transport without using cell energy, or active transport using cell energy. In passive transport, a process called diffusion occurs in which the molecules move along a concentration gradient. From here, particles move from a high concentrated area to a low concentrated area.
To add on to that, depending on the molecule that is entering or exiting the cell, they must go through one of the three types of diffusion. Just remember that since diffusion is considered passive transport, all three types do not require cell energy for these molecules to move. There's passive diffusion, where molecules move along the concentration gradient, meaning that they move from a high to low concentrated area. Facilitated diffusion, where molecules move across the membrane with the help of glycoproteins that provide extra assistance if the molecules are too big or polarized to enter or leave. And osmosis, where water molecules are attracted to an area with more solutes in order to move along the concentration gradient.
For molecules that need to move in the opposite direction, meaning that they are wanting to go from a low to high concentrated area and against the concentration gradient, they must move with the help of cell energy via active transport. Using a sodium-potassium pump that is found along the cell membrane is one example that molecules can move through active transport. The sodium-potassium pump will eject 3 sodium ions from the inside of the cell due to accepting a phosphate from an ATP molecule. With the pump now open, 2 potassium ions will then enter the protein and into the cell. Once this is done, the protein will let go of the phosphate from the ATP molecule and will go back to its original shape. As a result, the interior of a cell is more negatively charged, and the cell can maintain or return to a state of resting membrane.
What if there is a situation where a cell needs to dispose of or allow a really large molecule or multiple molecules in a short amount of time? Is that possible for a cell?
Yes, it is possible. If that scenario applies when a molecule needs to enter the cell, it will need to go through endocytosis. On the other hand, if that molecule needs to exit the cell, it will need to go through exocytosis.
If I remember anything about endocytosis, it can happen in multiple ways. The cell can carry those molecules through either phagocytosis, where the cell encloses them inside a vacuole before letting them enter, or pinocytosis, where the molecules are dissolved into a fluid and surrounded by vesicles before they are brought inside the cell.
And with exocytosis, those molecules are also wrapped in a vesicle, but are transported out of the cell. Some examples of substances that need to go through exocytosis are toxins, waste products, hormones, and neurotransmitters.
Wow! With this extensive insight of how and why the cell membrane functions, it's easy to understand their significance to the cell they are a part of.
That's everything we have in this lesson. If you need to review what you learned, go to www.scienceaide.com and access our study guide, download the PDF, and learn science smarter.